The FDA on Monday, we're going to have a panel on SSRIs and pregnancy. Almost a quarter of middle-aged women in the United States take an antidepressant.
All right, this is fairly recent data, and it does show that over 20% of women ages 40 to 59 use an antidepressant. All right.
And many of them take it right through pregnancy.
This is confusing because just talking about middle-aged women, I don't know a lot of 50-plus-year-olds that are having babies. I mean, women are having them older, but even so.
About 5% of pregnant women roughly are taking an SSRI, one of the types of antidepressants.
This is from 2023, and yeah, actually the number here is even a little higher. It says 6 to 10% of all pregnant women are prescribed antidepressants. So again, not sure why he had that one little blurb at the start about 25% of middle-aged women taking antidepressants. I think probably just to throw the big 25%, a quarter of them out there, fear-mongering.
Even though one of the antidepressants has been identified by the FDA to potentially be associated with birth defects.
This is just way too vague. He says one of the SSRIs has been potentially associated with causing birth defects according to the FDA. Notice that he doesn't tell you which SSRI he's talking about. He doesn't tell you what the alleged potential birth defects are. I'm sure he's talking about Paxil, or the generic is paroxetine. And of course, there are some studies that do suggest an increase possibly in heart defects, especially if it's taken during the first trimester. And then there's other studies that suggest that no, that's not the case. And I need to add that, of course, like he said, this is one SSRI. There's lots of SSRIs to potentially try. That's something that a patient and their doctor need to discuss and weigh the risks and benefits of each of them. But he's fear-mongering based off of one potential concern.
Also concerns about harm to the mother.
What harms to the mother? Be specific.
So we need to get the experts in the room, get this straight. Again, update the labels if we need to do that. Do whatever we can to try to address this, because we don't want to see birth defects that are entirely avoidable if people would have had the right information.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone wants to avoid birth defects, but just based on the track record thus far of this HHS and FDA, I'm just feeling very leery of this panel. We've seen them make up citations, particularly using AI, and we've seen them use real citations but completely misrepresent what the paper says. I'll keep my fingers crossed and hope for the best, but we'll see. You will be able to watch this panel live. I will include a link to the FDA website that also gives you a link to where you can watch it on YouTube tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes. All right.